morning all, so I've just pulled up at work. I'm gonna go inside, set up. I've got a double day in today. Horror portraits, so I'm quite excited. I really took my time with these stencils the night before just so that I had a good foundation for the tattoo. Here I am printing it off in the stencil machine. I prepped the skin, stuck the stencil on, gave it 15 minutes to dry, and then set up my camera so I could record some time lapses of the actual tattoo session. So I am trying something new with my black and grey recently. I'm making my own grey wash, so I use dynamic black and I pour out a cap of solid black, and then I fill one cap nearly to the top, that's going to be my darkest tone. Then one a little bit lower than that, that's going to be my dark. Then lower than that, that's my medium. And then barely non-existent, that's my light. And I top these all up with mixing solution. And then I put a cap out of mixing solution so that I'm using that to dip in between tones. I'm also using new cartridges that I get from Magnum Tattoo Supplies. These are the True Gent premium cartridges. I love how they work on the skin, nice and smooth blending. When I first started doing portraits, I was nervous to use black because I didn't want to oversaturate my pieces, and because of this I strayed away from using the darker end of my grey wash. So I was using just like the light, the medium and the dark, but because of this I was never using true black. When my pieces were healing and coming back, they'd lost a lot of tone and definition because everything was literally just light and medium. So now when I'm doing my tattoos, black is black, and because of the way that I'm mixing them with the dynamic, the light is already darker than my medium tone was with my last grey wash set. So everything is already darker, which I tend to find heals a lot better anyway, because your tattoos settle down like 2 shades lighter than what they are when you put them in. And so if you're putting them in quite concentrated and dark, when it settles, it's going to hold its tone and it's going to hold its definition. So like this last couple of black and greys that I've been doing, I'm really heavily relying on putting those darker tones in there, making it nice and dark, and making sure that when it's healing, it's going to come back with those same tones, same details, same definition. So at the end of day 1 session, we wrapped this leg with some cling film, taped ankle and knee just to make sure that it stayed on overnight. In the morning, took the cling film off, gave everything a nice good soap down and a wash. It's still a little bit irritated, it's still a little bit red, but I find the shins tend to be quite red anyway. Stenciled everything, stuck the camera on and got right to it. Second day I had to refresh my inks, top everything back up, put some more tissues on the station and was ready to go. So my boss Bailey actually suggested that we put her on an angle and zoom her face in quite a bit, because I printed off a couple of different sizes for this and was going to go a similar size to the other two. But he said zoom her in so it looks like she's peeking through and just really saturate the edges with black. So we printed off the stencil quite big, put her in there, and I think the end result looks sick. Now, these tattoos were actually very special because this gentleman was one of the first people to let me do a portrait in my whole entire career. I remember a couple of years ago I put out portraits, £100 each, and he picked Art the Clown. It took me probably about 7 hours just to do one portrait on him. You'll see a couple of snippets of how he's healed a little bit further on in the video, but it was nice to just be able to show him what I am capable of doing now in my career. And as well just being able to add some more horror portraits onto there, because it's very hard to find people that want horror portraits. In my 6 years of tattooing, I've only done 4 so far, so it is very far and few. I do get really giddy when I get to do it because it is something that I absolutely adore. I love the contrast, I love the concept, I love horror. So if you like this tattoo and you fancy a horror sleeve, some horror portraits, let me know. I'll put a juicy deal on for you because it's something that I'd love to fill my portfolio up with. In total, I think we did 15 hours of tattooing over 2 days. That's Freddy on the back there, Art the Clown peeking out, and then we've got Regan and Chucky. Once the tattooing had finished, wiped everything down with antibacterial soap, wrapped it up with cling film just so that the white highlights could settle, and then took some pictures with the sniper light. I feel like I'm really pushing myself to do a better tattoo every single time I'm tattooing now, reaching new heights in my career that I never thought I'd be able to get to, so I'm eternally appreciative of the customers for trusting me with this. And that is the full process of how I did these tattoos, so thanks for watching.